Well, hi gents, and welcome to today's vid. I've had a lot of questions since I've been busy as hell at home on YouTube about how much I talk shit. Well, hey guys, welcome back to today's vid. Glad to get out and do a bit of a vlog. As I've said on previous vids, I've been busy as hell with building my driveway at home. Although I haven't been filming, I have still been on YouTube answering all your questions and comments, and I've had a lot lately about the accessories that I've got on this bike and what stuff I've added to it, and sort of my opinion on stuff. So I thought I'd do a top 5 accessories vid for the S1000XR, so stay tuned for the next few minutes and I'll tell you my top 5 accessories. So kicking things off at number 5, I thought I'd go with the Radiator and Oil cooler guard that I've got from SwMotech Performance. For each of these 5 accessories, I'll try and put links in the description below so you can check things out. But on this bike, it's got a massive radiator and oil cooler, and in my opinion it's got to be protected. I saw a bike up at my local dealership. It was a used S1000XR and it only had 6,000 Ks on the clock, and the radiator was absolutely battered. Dents, damages all over it, and it only had 6,000 Ks on it. So in my opinion, it's got to be protected. Even if you're not doing anything off-road, you still need to protect it, because just a small chip, a small stone will be enough to ruin that radiator because it's so big. So that is number 5 on the top 5 accessories. So coming in at number 4, I've gone with the SwMotech engine sliders. So a bit of crash protection on the engine, which I like to do on all bikes. It's not bike specific to this in particular. You gotta have some form of protection, drop protection or slide protection, in case you do have a bit of a spill. So I've got them from SwMotech. Not the cheapest on the market. They're kind of up there with the same price as the engine bars that they offer, but it just keeps the lines of the bike nicer. I think I don't think crash bars belong on this bike particularly. It's not an adventure bike and it looks a bit out of place, but obviously engine bars are going to be the most protection. So I've gone with these sliders. Some people like bars, some people like sliders, some people like them bungs that you can screw onto the engine, but you gotta keep in mind that it is damage limitation for engine sliders or crash bars. It's not going to prevent you from damaging your bike. It's just sort of damage limitation if you do drop it, or you do have a bit of a spill at a slower speed. Engine sliders are designed to slide on tarmac, so if you do have a spill, that the bike's not going to flip over. But if you come off the road and go into the freaking field, and these engine sliders or bungs or whatever dig into the ground, then it's going to flip your bike and it's going to damage it anyway. So you gotta keep that in mind. It is, as I said, it's damage limitation, not complete protection. So keeping things rocking at number 3, I've gone with the Rizoma clutch and brake levers. Bit of a annoying thing about this bike is that only the brake lever, the stock brake lever, is adjustable. The stock clutch lever isn't at all, and it was a massive reach. I mean, I've got average size hands, not the smallest, not the biggest, but I could barely reach the clutch lever. And when I first bought the bike, there wasn't many manufacturers that had brought anything out, aftermarket levers. I did try one that didn't fit and blah blah blah, but I gave it a bit of time, and then Rizoma bought their levers out and they fit perfect. and obviously fully adjustable brake and clutch lever. As I said, the clutch lever, the stock clutch lever, was far too much of a reach for me, and it became a bit of an annoyance. So that is kind of in the mid-range of things that you should look into changing if you haven't got ET fingers. So in at number 2, I've gone with the Cobra Hypershots exhaust. I like to change the exhaust on all my bikes. I don't like stock exhausts at all. They look ugly, they're heavy, they sound awful. Although the stock can on the S1000XR didn't sound bad at all. It wasn't anything nice to look at, and it was massive. So that came off, and I stuck the Cobra exhaust on it. Beautiful exhaust. It's hard to find an exhaust for this bike that actually makes a sort of significant difference. A lot of exhausts that I'd looked at, I mean, I did quite a bit of research before buying it on what exhausts to get. Some of them didn't look right. You know, the Acura did look nice, the black with the black carbon, but it was €1,100 just for an N-can, which is ridiculous. And I heard it in the flesh, and I wasn't impressed. On this bike, most of the noise comes from the airbox. It's hard to find an exhaust, just an N-can, that will change anything spectacularly, but the Cobra makes a nice deep growl, so I'm happy I got that. On this bike, you know, as I said, it's hard to make it sound significantly better just with the N-can. And unfortunately in Germany where I live, it's illegal to take off cats or go for a full system. That all gets checked thoroughly on your MOT, so no chance of doing any of that. And I've had it before where I took the DB killer out. I know a lot of you do that in other countries. That's highly illegal here as well, but I did it on one weekend on a different bike. Got pulled by the Rozzers. He did me for it, cost me 3 points on my licence and a €280 fine, so not doing that again. Bugger. So, and lastly, by no means least, number 1, I've gone with the quick shifter and down blipper, which isn't an aftermarket part for this bike, it's a BMW part, but I think it is the best thing to have on a bike. It's my first, but it makes the bike, it makes the ride so much more fun, especially this bike with the power that it's got. The quick shifter and down blipper, if you're unfamiliar with quick shifters, it basically is just a clutchless shift. So you still have to use the shifter with your foot, but you don't have to pull the clutch in at all. And on this bike, I think BMW one of the first people to do it, to offer it as an accessory, was the down blipper, which is again exactly the same thing. You can change down the gears without using the clutch, and all it does is just give an auto blip on the throttle. And it's amazing. Yeah, whatever. Turn your bike off. Yeah, so I think that's one of the best parts you can add to a bike. A lot of other bikes you can get them, if you can't get it as an added accessory from the manufacturer, you can get aftermarket quick shifters. Normally just a quick shifter. Down blippers, it becomes a bit more difficult. Yeah, so that's my kind of top 5 accessories for the S1000XR. I do have a lot more on the bike, but that was kind of my top 5 on things that, you know, I'm glad I got and have made things, you know, a nicer ride, more fun to ride, with that added bit of drop protection in there just to keep things damaged to a minimum if I were to have a spill. Yeah, well, hopefully that's been of benefit to you and answered some of your questions that you've been asking me over the last 3 weeks about what I have done, added to this bike, and my opinion on things that I have added. As I said, I have added a lot more other stuff to the bike, but that was my top 5. So stay tuned and I'll catch you next time.